What's that say? Are we going live?
I think we're going live, but it did not.
It said something on my screen here, but I don't know what
we're
it
now
said.
streaming live on Facebook. So welcome, yay! Hi, my name is Joy Koff, and I am the owner of Miracles of Joy. And I'd love to introduce Cé Änn, who I lovingly refer to as my brother, the one. Hi, Cé Änn.
Hey. Hi, Joy. Wow, you're already in Teo without me. How did you do that?
I got the sun pyramid behind me.
Wow, maybe those are some of our tour people already at the top.
So this live, Facebook Live that we decided to do, we want to talk a little bit about the tour that we do on an annual basis. I think if I got that right, Cé Änn, haven't we been to Teo about 8 times so far?
Something like that.
So,
at least 6 for me.
Okay, so we do this pretty much on an annual basis where we go to Teotihuacán, Mexico. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about Teo, and I'm going to let Cé Änn kind of jump in here. I know your impression of Teo, but I want to talk a little bit about why we do these tours. Part of the reason is, you know, from where I sit, when we do a sacred journey, what is it doing? If you want to connect to who you are spiritually, you're actually lifting yourself up of your day-to-day life, of work, family, friends, just trying to do the hectic stuff that it is to live a life today on this planet. And what you're doing is you're giving yourself permission to turn around and plug into your spiritual self, your spiritual beliefs, whatever that is for you, your connection, whatever that represents for you. And as you plug in, you actually accomplish doing, I would say, years of work in such a short period of time, because you're actually unplugging for a week. We never unplug anywhere for a week.
That's a really valid point.
We're constantly in a multi-dimensional reality where we're in the past, present, and future, work, mother, grandmother, whatever it is that we do. That's my
mother, grandfather,
my impression. And what it allows you to do is actually connect with spirit and yourself for a week. And in past experiences, when we actually brought groups to Teo, one of the questions that I love asking them on day 2 or day 3 is, how long have you been gone? How long does it feel like that you've been out of your life? And to get people to say a month, 2 months, that's not an exaggeration. It's like when you really plug into your spiritual self, it is like you're focused and you're so in the present moment that you let all that other stuff kind of fall away, and you realize it almost feels like time just stops and stands still for a period of time for you. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of kick this over to Cé Änn and let him talk a little bit about what Teo is to you.
My sister of the one. So, agreeing with what you were saying, Joy, earlier, before we start talking about Teo, by the way, there it is. I wear my hat. The bottom line is, when we do these spiritual sacred journeys, what if we pull out the word spiritual, we pull out the word sacred, what we're not putting in is family vacation. We're not, you know, it doesn't mean you can't have family with you, but this is truly not a vacation from, it's a journey within. So as you were saying, Joy, to our viewers and our listeners, the whole idea of having these sacred sites is to literally allow one to let go of their identification, allow them to let go of maybe the family's not with them, their loved ones, their children, and work's not there. We unplug the phone. The great thing about where we stay, yeah, not a lot of phone service. You have Wi-Fi, but that's for when you want to send the pictures a little later. But the bottom line is, Teo is one of these kind of sacred sites that compels you to be present. irrespective of what the signs say or all the people, and there's guardians there that they watch their very, very ancient sacred space. The bottom line is you're compelled to slow down, beyond the weather, beyond the people around you or those that are journeying with us. There is something about the land there. It's something very mystical about just simply being on this place where thousands of years before you there were other human beings, maybe even some relatives, who knows. But the bottom line is it has this kind of ongoing, ever expanding realm that once you step into these gates, you realize that you're stepping into an aspect of our humanity that is not nothing we do. We go to work, we play, we watch television, we go to events, we dance, we sing, we meditate, we do all these things. But when you go to a sacred site, there's something very acknowledging about energy. And that's the one thing that I know you, Joy, can speak a lot about energy, and the energy of Teotihuacán is unmistakable.
So let's
Oh,
talk a little bit about our journey. We have a journey coming up in March,
yes,
correct?
we do.
And it's going to be March 1st through March, let me make sure I have the right dates.
I think it's 7th, right?
Yes, March 1st through March 7th, where we're going to be bringing a group of people to Teotihuacán, Mexico. They will be staying with us at the Dreaming House.
Correct.
And the journey covers double occupancy, all ceremonies and workshops, entrance fees, gratuities, almost everything is covered. Ground transportation, the only thing we don't cover is your flight to Mexico City
Right.
from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know
Or
that,
anywhere.
or anywhere, it's really not that long of a flight. I know people that have flown from Dallas, actually it's only about a 2-hour flight from the Dallas area.
It's something really worth thinking about and exploring so that you can consider. Maybe you look it up. Maybe, Google Teotihuacan for yourselves and you get an idea of the ancient aspect of it. And as Joy said, we're going to be going there real soon. We'd love to have you come and join us. And everything is included, right? Food. Oh, my goodness. You will, outside of Teotihuacan, there's this little place called the Dreaming House, right, Joy? And
Right.
Alberto and all the family there and all the people, they are just the indigenous. And Alberto and his family have been on the grounds since he was, a young fellow. And so it's something very unique and special to be with people who can tell you stories about when there wasn't a fence, when they would go and crawl in to these portals and these chambers that we now have to be very acknowledging of. But when they were children, there was no one around. Everyone they didn't watch over it like they do now. Like everything, when we've grown up, where everything changes, everything becomes more important, some things become less important. The magic of Teotihuacan is always being revealed. They're always finding and unearthing things, right, Joy?
It's a new place every time you go there. And I want
Right.
to talk a lot about the energy. The
No.
pyramids are
Shh. No energy. No. Shh. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
So let's talk a little bit. What really drew me the first time to Teo was the pyramids are laid out according to Orion's belt, which is the same layout for the Giza Plateau in Egypt. And one of my great mysteries of this is, how do you have these two civilizations on the exact opposite side of the world, that are laying out, the pyramids are being laid out this way. And the other thing to talk about it is the energy of the place. I mean, the grounds there, you could just feel the vibration of the energy that exists there. It is like a multi-dimensional universe from where I sit. When I go there, I can see energy left and right. I love going with the flow of what shows up for me anytime I'm on those grounds. And what that means is Cé Änn and I are not going to be your traditional tour guides where we're going to go, hey, here's the history of what's been written. First of all, what history can really be written about a place that when the Aztec discovered it, it was already abandoned at that time by the people that actually created it. We're more about plugging you into the energy and the frequency of that place, allowing you to discover the channel that you already are, allowing you to connect to the frequency that's there, and also hearing from your perspective, what is it that you picked up? What experiences did you have at the site? We will do meditations, we do channeling, we do healing, you name it. It's like we go with the moment of what's going on with us at that time, and our adventures are pretty much channeled.
That's a true statement, because Alberto drops us off. We say, okay, we'll see you maybe in a couple hours, and everything is a little more relaxed, everything's a little more loose. And sure, you have to pay attention, you have to listen, of course, be respectful to all things that surround you. At the same point, I've learned when I've gone to Teo that there is something very reciprocal of how I'm feeling, how I'm allowing myself to be. If I'm tired, instead of going, oh, I wish I wasn't tired. If I go, yep, I had a long night or whatever it was, maybe the food after a while, it's so clean, it's so clear where we stay, where we eat the food and the preparation and the joy there, especially disjoy. What happens is that your body has to acclimatize for a little while. So beyond all that, as you're moving, you find yourself not trying to control what's going on. We're going to be your tour guides. We're going to say we're going to go to Quetzalcoatl. We're going to go to Pyramid of the Moon. We're going to go and take you to one of Joy's favorite places, the portal, or as she calls it, heaven, and some of the Toltec traditions. And the magic of it is that the earth speaks to us there. We take you to these steps and let you experience what's there. You kind of go, well, these were not built for, the kind of human beings we are these days. If they're walking up steps, it's a different thing. So you find all these aspects that you kind of go, what was this designed for? What really is this about? You find out that there's cultures upon cultures, traditions upon traditions. And Joy and I being very untraditional in the sense of going with the flow, listening to guidance, listening to you. And everything unfolds, and it's a wonderful adventure. And it's a very colorful civilization, and the people are so generous and kind, and you can shop till you drop sometimes outside of Teotihuacán.
The difference is, like, in certain areas that I noticed in Teo is, like, when I'm trying to walk up the moon pyramid is like 1/3 the size of the sun pyramid, but it feels like it really pulls you in. You can feel some of the magnetic pull that exists in this area, and it actually feels like it just pulls you into the moon pyramid, where the sun pyramid will feel like it pushes you off. So when you're sensitive to energy, and another thing to really keep in mind, you're actually going up almost 7,000 feet. So if you're from the Dallas area, you're going into an altitude that's a lot higher than what you're pretty much used to. So it does take you a day to climatize your body, because we're going through like at sea level to way above sea level. And some of the things that you notice is, like, your breath may be a little short the first day, but it is just well worth it. There's energy that's coming in. You're being cleared on so many different levels. One of my favorite ceremonies that we do is Victor, who is a shaman in his own right. We do a cave ceremony there. And to be able to experience just laying on the earth or laying in the earth, in the cave, and have that experience, that shaman experience. Cé Änn and I do our own little ceremony. That is another shamanic ceremony that we do as well. We do a lot of channeling, and it's really about listening to the group and feeling those I want to say those layers of I want to say our lower self gets peeled away, but it's not anything that we per se are doing. We're allowing the energy and the frequency of Teotihuacán to do that for you.
It's like walking into a puzzle and a mystery. You first get into the dreaming house. It's a secure environment and it's beautifully laid out, and you'll love all the stones. And we sometimes, depending upon the kind of group we have gathered, we have classes for you to attend. And if you know some Spanish, that always helps. At the same point, it's really about coming down to the basic expression, and that basic expression of being at one, finding, if you will, I'll use the word simply, finding that loving connection. And there's something very magical about all the people at the Dreaming House, right, Joy? I mean,
there is.
They're just so present, and they love what they do, and you can feel that they cherish their space and they acknowledge life. And there's something about, for myself, I can, even though I live in a place that every day reminds me to be present, slow down, and look around, at the same point, it's sort of like going to Teo. It's still taking me out of a place that I'm familiar with. There's something magical that takes place to my humanity. I know Joy's, and I'm sure yours. When you're taken outside of what you know and what to expect, you just simply, it all falls away and opens up. And there's a labyrinth inside where you walk, and there's walking meditations and just so many things that we share and offer to you so that you can drink from the well. Speaking of the well, sometimes we can get into these places where it's not always open to the general public, and it's very kind. There are people that let us in and they'll perform a ceremony, or we will, and we're always very generous and very happy that these things can happen for our group. And whether that takes place or not is not really why you go to Teotihuacán.
Right.
You go to Teotihuacán to experience the place. Right?
Right. I agree.
Right there. Right there.
So if you guys are interested in talking more to either Cé Änn and myself, talk to us about it. Call us, let us know any concerns you may have, let us know, any questions you may have. But if you really would like to join us, we have our website that's set up. It is www.yoursacredjourneys.com. Again, it's called yoursacredjourneys.com. You can find information on...
You'll find lots.
Find information out there about Teo. We have a video out there that'll show you a little bit more of what you can expect. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. So I'll give you...
Yeah, the numbers on there are all of our information.
Right.
It's right there for you. I would spit out numbers now, but hey, just go to the website, yoursacredjourneys.com, and that's plural. And, if you need to be nudged, take a moment, take a breath. If you're excited, follow your excitement without hesitation. Do what excites you. If you're interested, come and join us. We'll make sure that you have a memorable experience.
So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Cé Änn, for joining me today.
Oh, sure. I'm going to go into disguise again.
Okay. Thanks again. And if you have any questions, reach out to either one of us. Bye.
All right. Bye. Bye, Joy. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.